Welcome into a brand new edition of Chalk Talk here on Wednesday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, happy Ash Wednesday. This is a very packed Wednesday in terms of holidays this week. Coming up, we've got a conversation with Dennis McIntosh and the West Liberty-Salem girls basketball team, and then we will end it with Coach Ryan Dickson and the Indian Lake Lakers wrestling squad. Don't go anywhere. A brand new edition of Chalk Talk starts in just a moment.
The weekend should be for relaxing, and that means no cooking. Check out what's hot at Ron's Pizza in Bell Fountain. On top of pizzas, they have subs, sandwiches, salads, and lots of sides like breadsticks, garlic cheese bread, pickle chips, beer battered onion rings, loaded fries, and more. Check out a specialty pizza this weekend. Ron's Pizza is ready to cook for you. Call 292-7775 or stop by and dine in on South Main Bell Fountain. See more and a menu online at Ron's Pizza's Facebook page.
Ohio High Point's 664th Hair Force Salon is now open and ready to pamper you from head to toe. Treat yourself to a relaxing spa day with our wide range of services. Whether it's a fresh haircut, a soothing facial, or a perfect manicure and pedicure, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. Prices start at just $5. Yes, you heard that right, $5. You can look and feel amazing without breaking the bank. Appointments are available Wednesday through Friday, starting at 8:30 a.m. Come experience the 664th Hair Force Salon at Ohio High Point.
Welcome back to Ron's Pizza here in Bell Fountain, Ohio for a brand new edition of Chalk Talk here on this Wednesday, February 14th. I'm your host, Caleb Spinner, joined by my first guest of the day, Dennis McIntosh of the West Liberty-Salem girls basketball team. Coach, welcome to Chalk Talk.
Thank you. It's glad to be here.
We always do the handshake. I like how firm yours was. I really appreciate that. We'll talk to your girls in just a second here. You only brought two. Valentine's Day has cut down the attendance from your squad here. But I'm glad we at least get some of them to talk to because you guys have had a pretty good season so far. Walk me through what you've seen from your girls this year.
Well, we're really senior dominated this year. We have 6 seniors playing with 2 underclassmen. So we were expecting to have a pretty good season. And, we've hit a couple roadblocks along the way, but for the most part, we've played really well, and we've had some really good games here at the end of the season.
Sometimes those roadblocks, though, are beneficial, especially when we get towards the end of the season. They sharpen your squad, if you will, and they get them ready for postseason basketball, right?
Yeah, we hope so. We had a big win last Thursday night in the league against Mechanicsburg, and then we turned around on Saturday and then had to go to Versailles and play. And we didn't play bad there. We just didn't shoot the ball real well. But I think they're looking forward to the tournament we play tomorrow night. So I think they're ready.
There's only so much a coach can do leadership-wise. You can lead them through practice. You can teach them the drills and plays. But at the end of the day, it's them on the floor doing the action, the shooting, the dribbling, the passing, all that. When you have seniors, a lot of that leadership falls onto them. How well have they done with translating your practice, your philosophy into that game time situation?
They've been great. Most of them, at least 4 of them has been playing varsity for 4 years now. So, they didn't get a lot of time when they were freshmen, but they got enough. And, last year we only had 1 senior on the team, so they kind of had some of them stepped up last year and kind of took leadership roles. But, this year they've been great. They plan a lot of things for the team to do together and, outside of basketball, which has been really fun. And they just mingle together well. They don't all hang out together, when they're not in basketball, but yet they've planned a lot of things and included the underclassmen and freshmen and stuff and stuff they do. So I think the freshmen have really appreciated it. And, we haven't had great numbers this year, so we've struggled, with the JV team, but they've been real great in practice helping them out and, teaching them the things we do and how we do things. And, they set a great example. They come to play hard every night. Now, we don't always make the best decisions or shoot the ball real well some nights, but yet they still play hard. And, we've been in every game. Even the games we've lost, we've only been down 2 or 3 points in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game. So that always helps. And, hopefully it'll carry over, because next year we're going to have a big transition, because we're only basically having 2 kids coming back that's got any varsity experience.
Those transitions are certainly major undertakings for programs who are senior heavy like you are. There's going to be that recruitment push, I would imagine, especially at the 8th grade level, along with the 7th grade and some of the middle schoolers. How do you go about replacing an upperclassman heavy team with people who can at least come in and learn, if not take over those leadership responsibilities right away?
Well, I think a lot of it's, we've had, our freshman class this year has been playing JVs all year, but some of them's dressed for every varsity game, and they've got, into a few varsity games. But I think just the mentality of practice every night with the upperclassmen and learning, understanding what we want and how we do things, I think really helps, because they'll be ready. Now, we probably have some 8th graders that are going to have to play next year, some varsity. Hopefully we'll get some time in this summer that get them, familiar with some things. But, it'll probably be a little bumpy to start the season next year, but hopefully as the season goes on, it'll get better. And right now we're kind of focused on the tournament and hopefully make a decent run here this year.
How do you what would you say is the identity of your team this year? How well do they live up to what you wanted at the beginning of the season?
I think, because we are one of the few teams that actually play with post players anymore. A lot of people's just doing a lot of 5-out because they don't have any big kids. We actually have some big kids, and we play with post kids. I think our identity is we can adjust to whatever the other team's doing, or we can do things that makes them uncomfortable, whether we are forcing the ball into our post or whether we're relying on our guards. If they're going to pack it in on our post, we got guards that could shoot the ball. So I think just we can do a little bit of everything. We're fairly quick. We could press some. We don't press. We're not going to go, in line to in line for 32 minutes, but we do some half-court trap stuff that we've been really successful with this season. So, but just their mentality that we could change from our offenses from man to zone, trip down the floor, and we're into what we need to be. And I think our seniors, they're really good at recognizing things that are working, and at timeouts and the end of the quarters and stuff, half times, they're always making suggestions of what they think's working. And so we tried to incorporate that into what we want to do then for the next, quarter or next half. And
we've still got a few games left before the postseason gets underway. What would you like to see?
We're done.
Oh, you're done. Okay.
We start postseason tomorrow night.
See, we've still got a few games up at the Columbus level where we've got a few before then still. So then I'll say then, what would you like to see implemented between now and when you play your first game?
Well, we actually play our first game tomorrow night. So
then what have you been implementing between then and
well, the thing is, we're playing a team we've already played twice this year, so they're in our league. So, they pretty well know us, we know them. So, there's some things they did that, hopefully we can correct they did to us that, we're going to try a few things to change there. And then, we've actually beat this team twice, so we're sure they're going to have to try something different against us. So we've been trying to prepare for different things we think they might try to do to us tomorrow night.
I've got to get back on my Division 6 schedule here for a minute. The season's so much longer up there than I thought. I live in Columbus now from Mechanicsburg. I'll say before the girls come up here, and we'll bring them up in a minute, what have these two particularly meant to you over their time with you?
Well, they've both been on the varsity for 4 years. Neither one of them's first sport is basketball, which actually I really only have one varsity kid that's first sport is basketball. We have a lot of volleyball, softball, soccer players. Lily Weaver's, really good at soccer, but she's really good at basketball too. And, she comes from a very athletic family. There's she's got 5 sisters, and I've coached 4 of them. 4 of them so far, and I got one more, or 3 of them so far, and I got one more coming yet. It'll be a freshman next year. So, it's been really fun watching her grow. She's never been a real confident shooter from the outside, but this year she's really stepped up, and she looks to take shots when she's open. The other is Bailey Poppy, who's really been, had a great career in volleyball for us. But she's just athletic. She can handle the ball. We run her at the point at times. She plays our post at times. So, and we can put her on a post or a guard defensively. So, it's really been good because this whole class is, they're just athletic, and even though basketball's not their main sport,
it still translates from soccer, volleyball, the speed of soccer, the coordination from volleyball. Those 2 things translate very well to the basketball court too, though.
Oh yeah, and the thing is just the continuous speed on a hardwood floor. The soccer girls come in pretty good shape, but they still say soccer shape and basketball shape's a little bit different. So
let's bring your girls up here then. I'll pull them away from their pizza, which I know they're gonna truly love. Oh boy, we're getting the smile. You see the smile, and you're like, oh, they're excited, and then you remember it's that nervous, that kind of smile. All right, we've never had 2 people up here before, so really, this is gonna be. No. Is that a lot? She asked if that's a lot for us. We've had whole teams up here, ladies and gentlemen. You know that. I was just about to say they could share the stool, and now here they are sharing the stool. Okay, but one person's got to hold the microphone primarily. But I guess you guys are in a better position to hand off here. This is going to be great because I'm used to like 7 people all cramming in here, and we have a hard time. Okay, this will be great. So obviously we were just talking. I know you're a Weaver.
Yes.
I've known a lot of your sisters here. By process of elimination, that means you're a Poppy.
Yeah.
Your brother tight end, right, Carson?
Yeah,
okay. We love families here in the OHC. So I asked Coach, the last thing that I asked him was, what have you guys meant to him? What has Coach meant to you?
He's been around a long time. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
What does he mean specifically to us, or like?
Yeah, what is like coaching to you? What is playing with him meant?
Honestly, it's been kind of nice because we talked about it today. Actually, he doesn't get worked up very easily. He's a very collective guy. He's calm, so that kind of makes it nice for us. Doesn't get too mad at us most of the time.
Is it that he's not getting worked up easily, or is it that you guys don't work him up very easily?
I mean, I would never do anything to work him up personally. No, but I don't think he gets worked up in general with anyone most of the time.
And it's like we have some weird antics, weird personalities, and he handles it, and he goes along with it. And we had a sleepover at his house recently, actually, and it was a blast. So
this is the man who has his face is like this, which is the, oh boy, I'm remembering all of this stuff. That's the these girls sometimes drive me nuts face.
They do, and the night they showed up for the sleepover was really interesting. Of course, I have a granddaughter on the team too. So.
Sure.
And so her and my wife kind of had this all planned out with these guys. So we actually had a game on a Saturday night, and I stayed and did stats and stuff afterwards. And as I'm going home, there's this whole line of cars heading for my house. And then they all start turning in the driveway.
So you had no idea this was happening?
Oh, no, I had no idea. And then I thought, well, they're just coming over. No, they start getting out of their cars carrying blankets and pillows, and I'm like,
oh.
So it was an interesting evening. I don't know what they did most of the night because I went to bed about 1 o'clock.
I'm surprised you got any sleep. I know they can be loud.
They were
sometimes.
pretty loud for a little bit, but then I think I must fell asleep because I didn't hear them. And so me and my wife got up at 6:30 in the morning and fixed them breakfast.
You can admit it now. Did you do any pranks on him when he slept?
No, we didn't.
Wet willies, hand in the wet bucket.
No.
No. My bedroom doors were locked. They were right.
Especially with the girls over at padlock, retinal scan, biometric security. Lock it down tight. Getting ready for postseason tomorrow. You've had a lot of season action up until then. What's been your favorite moment of the year so far? On, off the court, or both?
For me, on the court, beating Mechanicsburg. I think that, I've waited 3 years. 3 years.
She
to
said
beat
that
them
for
again.
me. She said that for me.
Oh. Yeah, that felt really good.
No.
Really
Please say it again.
Yeah, I just really loved beating Mechanicsburg. But anyways, off the court, I don't know.
We've done a lot of team
Yeah.
bonding this year.
Yeah, this has been a good year. I feel like the sleepover was a highlight. It was a highlight for sure.
For at least one of us here.
My favorite memory on the court would also be beating Mechanicsburg, because I too have waited 3 years for that moment. But
They're making a great first impression with me.
it just felt really good, because everyone, I think, underestimated us, and we went in, they were like, oh, we already have the OHC title, and then we were like, actually, we can keep up with you guys. So yeah, that was fun. But off the court, I'd say we've been to an Ohio State game, and we also went to watch South Carolina at Bowling Green, so that was fun as well. And then we have another Ohio State game coming up here soon. So.
And we have the suite for that.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to?
Is Dickson, Minnesota? Is that who it is?
It's Maryland.
Maryland.
Okay.
It was
I'll be
the
there.
M. I got the M.
All right, I'll be there then. I cover the team, so I'll be there then. I'll see if I can say hi.
Yeah.
I know there's there's not a lot of time. There's been a lot of time since the last game going into postseason now tomorrow. What have you two been working on with your own games to get ready for the postseason? Or is it just developing more of the same?
Yeah, go ahead.
We've put in a new offense since then. We actually have, I can't even tell you how many offensive plays we have, but I think we're very successful in each of our set plays. So just developing those has been successful, and also just going out there and playing, not even in a set play. I think we're pretty successful with that as well. So we play a lot of 5-on-5 in practice. We bring in some of the alumni, which is fun for us as well. And I think it just makes us better as a group. So.
Same thing?
Yeah.
So then I'll ask you this, because I'm going to own the beating Mechanicsburg thing. How much have you been bragging to your sisters about getting to beat Mechanicsburg?
I haven't bragged to them at all, actually.
Well, Selena beat them.
Selena beat them our freshman
that's
year.
True.
So that was an easy win for her. So it was for me to brag to her would be nothing. She's like, oh, we took them down. It wasn't anything for us. So yeah, I didn't need to brag.
All right, so Lou's going to do the rest of the show because I'm irritated. No. Okay, fair enough. Where is your playoff game tomorrow? I'm guessing it's on the road.
Yeah, we play at Dayton Northridge.
Okay. Going to be a long bus ride. Who are you not wanting to sit next to on the bus?
I sit in the back of the bus. I get my beauty sleep on the bus, so I don't have to worry about that.
And look, don't worry about offending anybody's feelings. They're all off doing their Valentine's Day plans. It's their fault they don't get to back that up here.
I'm trying to think. Maybe Grace Jones.
Grace Jones for sure. She's got some weird music tastes, and on the bus she likes to blast her music sometimes.
She's always saying something interesting, so.
She keeps it fun, though. She keeps it fun.
What are we defining as weird music tastes?
Miss Westy?
Yeah, do you know who Northwest is? Is it Kanye's daughter? Is that who it is?
Yeah, it's a viral
Kanye's
song going
daughter.
on TikTok, and it's
I'm not on TikTok, so I'm glad I don't know what that is. Yeah, Coach and I are over here yes. No social platforms. Thank you, Lord. I can only imagine being in the bus and just somebody plays obnoxious music.
Well, most of the time it's pretty quiet over there
Yeah,
because
it
most of
is.
them's got their earbuds in, or they're asleep. So usually the two noisiest people are my two ball girls that are on there.
So then your favorite memory of the year is when you're driving in a bus because they're all quiet and you can do what you need to do.
Well, the bus ride homes are really quiet because we let them go home with their parents if they want to. So a lot of time it's just me and a couple of the coaches on the bus. So.
We talked a lot about developing a program because you said your team is very senior heavy and eventually that's going to turn into next year mentoring the freshmen. What's something you want the freshmen to know if they're listening to this to get them ready for high school ball?
Yeah, it definitely takes time because I think in middle school, my grade specifically, like we were really good as a group, and then kind of coming on to freshman year, we didn't get to play that much because varsity was already kind of set. They had their positions. And then sophomore and junior year, I mean, I definitely say that we're way better than we were then. Like, we weren't terrible, but it definitely took time for us to develop as a group and learn to play with one another again, especially since we have, like, zone defense we run, which is very confusing, and I think it would take an hour just to explain it to you. But, yeah, it definitely takes time, so be very patient.
Yeah, I would say definitely just trust the process, and also, like, even though you are maybe a freshman or a sophomore, like, you have so much potential, and, like, once you put your mindset in the headspace that, like, this is your team, like, you need to step up, then it kind of carries you, and it carries your confidence. And for me, like, the most important thing was, like, confidence, and so I started seeing, like, major improvement my junior and senior year because like my freshman and sophomore year, I felt like I was a really bad shooter, and then I just kept doing it and building my confidence, and I've definitely improved with that. So.
How much did you pay her at the table to come up here and say exactly what you just said a few minutes ago? That you've got confidence shooting the ball now. You're a soccer player. You're a volleyballer. The sports don't really overlap with basketball, but I know there's those off-season workouts and there's the always being in the gym at some point to shoot there. What does your balance look like of balancing those two lives, especially when basketball's in the preseason and your fall sport is getting ready to be over in the postseason?
I would say for me, when I'm in a season, I'm focused on that sport, and like I'm not, like if I'm in soccer season, I'm not a person who's also going out of my way to practice basketball, which is probably a bad thing. But like when I'm in one season, I'm focused on that season. So going into like preseason, I just trust what the coaches are going to have us do rather than prepping for it on my own.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really like focus too much into the future. I take it one season at a time, but everyone always dreads those first few weeks of basketball because they're conditioning us pretty hard, but it definitely pays off in the end, I'd say. So.
Speaking of things you dread, I don't know if you had something to add there. I saw your mouth for a minute.
It just this year, especially the preseason, was really short because soccer and volleyball both went quite a ways into the tournament. So I think we only had, 7 or 8 practices before our first game, actually.
Yeah. And we didn't have very many scrimmages either, like when everyone else was. So.
Yeah, because by the time, especially soccer got done so late that we didn't have a whole lot of time. We had to get stuff in, so we only did a couple scrimmages, and then I think we only had 8 practices before our first game. So,
speaking of things you both dread, if you will, you show up to practice, and coach either has the cones put out for something or says, all right, we're going to do this, and you just go, what's that thing?
I already know Lily's.
Passing drills. I hate passing drills. Coach Haller, if you're watching. No, I hate them so much. I would rather run than do passing drills.
Well, don't tell him that.
Yeah. Well, okay. They started having us do like down and backs in the beginning. Like a few are like 50%, and then it goes 75, and then like 100. I also hate those. But like, we'll get done with those sometimes, and then he'll start getting out the balls, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what he's doing, and it's passing drills, and yeah.
But that's a good philosophy. Pass when you're tired. I'm assuming that's what you're doing that for.
If Lily'd figure out if she'd just catch passes all the time, we wouldn't have to do passing drills.
That is true. No, that is true.
That's another thing I've improved on. My freshman year, I had butter fingers, like literal butter fingers. I've improved so much with that.
Depends on who you ask, but I'm just kidding.
Wow.
My least favorite drill, I'd say, we have this drill called cat and mouse, and it's like this defensive drill. Basically, I hate doing defense because Coach Holler always emphasizes staying low, and I can't do it. My legs are too long for that.
My legs are too long. We gotta put her under the squat rack. Get her used to being down in bed position like that.
No.
She would struggle with that.
Hey!
You just said it. You can't be mad at him for agreeing with you. What about your favorite things?
Scrimmaging is my favorite thing because it's fun and it's like we're playing the game. So.
I like when we play elementary gym games. Like today, do you know what a parachute is? Like when you have the parachute in elementary gym class?
You jump out of your plane and she catches you before.
Very funny.
Well, I know, like the big.
Yeah. We actually got that out today, and a lot of times we even play like handball or something with our coaches as the goalie. So it's pretty fun to throw balls at them.
Do you ever play hideout at all in gym?
No.
Oh, you set up like these little mats in the corners, and you run around trying to dodge.
That. What did we call that?
People stand in the middle with dodgeballs.
Yeah, we called that. I can't remember what we called that, but we did play that. Yeah.
That would be a fun one.
Yeah.
We did that a couple times, I think.
Yeah, we actually have done that. Just a little extra conditioning running around.
I know you mentioned you've been to an Ohio State game before. Really good team this year. Who's your favorite player on the squad?
Cody McCone.
I don't follow women's basketball. That sounds terrible, but or college basketball in general.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, Cody McMahon's a great player. She's certainly one of the better ones on that team. I know you guys will enjoy that bit. What about Caitlin Clark? Anybody follow her?
We were there the day they beat them.
You were there that day?
Yeah.
Not a fan.
She's good. She's very.
Last year.
No, we were at Ohio State when Iowa played this year.
They beat Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were there.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. They beat Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
That's really good.
we said that I got immediately like nods like this, and I was like,
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were asking about Caitlin.
no, I was
Oh.
like, do you like her? Like, not obviously do we want her to beat
Oh.
Ohio State,
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
we like that OSU beat.
oh, yes. I was like, what are we doing here? This is an awkward reaction here.
She's a good player, but I don't know.
I just don't like the way she carries herself.
Yeah.
And, like, it makes me feel bad that their team is so good and, like, she is the face of the team, you know? Like, I feel like I don't know a single other player on Iowa. And they were, like, ranked number 2 for a while.
That's
so,
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All that confusion aside, Gary, come on. Here I am. Look, they've insulted my school, and I've kept a pretty level head, okay? You can't be the one who's getting all hot and bothered over there. You can't be doing that if I can't be doing that, okay? Game coming up tomorrow in Dayton, which is going to be a heck of a ride, like I said. How do fans go to follow you guys? How do they get tickets? How do they drive? What do they do?
Actually,
This is mostly for Coach, because I know you two probably don't keep up with
they
that.
can buy tickets on the OHSA website, but they're actually doing cash at the door, so they can get tickets when they get there.
It sucks though, because it's such a long ride just to play triad.
Why would they put you? Brackets are fun.
Yeah,
Brackets are fun. Why can we just play that here?
yeah. It's, why can't we play it at Urbana? If it's got to be on a neutral court, then go to Urbana and play it.
Exactly.
So,
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
I will say, though, when you get to postseason time, though, it is fun because you get to play on a lot of bigger courts, assuming you go far enough. Are you guys looking forward to playing down at a bigger school like they have in Dayton?
Definitely,
Yeah.
You're going to do the Hoosiers trick of measuring the rims and saying they're still 10 foot.
No, I think they've got it figured out. Actually, I think they played there their freshman or sophomore
Yeah.
year.
I think it was our sophomore year.
We played at Northridge, so they've been there.
Awesome. I'll let you guys get back to your pizza here. I'm going to keep your coach for just a second longer. Then I promise we'll let you get back. Coach, this has been a great conversation with you and your team here. The motto going into the postseason. What's your message to your girls, to the fans, as you get ready for this postseason run?
Well, you know, especially with 6 seniors, they know that next time they lose, they're done. So, you know, I don't think you don't have to give them big pep talk. They know what needs to be done. You know, they're focused on the fact that, you know, they're playing a team for the 3rd time this year, which could be a little difficult. But you know, they know everybody. You know, I think just to put them, you know, as coaches, we need to recognize, you know, what Triad's trying to do. If they try anything different defensively, and make sure we get our girls in the right offensive sets we need to be in, and you know, just make sure they play hard and they get after it. Our big thing all year has been focusing on rebounding. We play some teams that are quite a bit taller than we are, especially non-season or non-league games. So, you know, we've been really focusing on rebounding and our turnovers. For the most part, we've done a really good job of not turning the ball over a lot this year. We had a couple games where we got up in the 20s, but most of the time we stay around 10 to 11, 12. So, we really tried to eliminate offensive rebounds for the other team, and you know, trying to get offensive rebounds ourselves. So.
And they know the message. Enough said, right?
Yep, they know what needs to be done tomorrow night. So.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you.
When we come back, we will have the Indian Lake wrestling team. Hold on, keep your headset on, Gary. I promised I would do it. Promised I would do it. When we come back, we'll be talking wrestling with the Indian Lake Lakers wrestling team and their head coach. Don't go anywhere. A new segment of Chalk Talk comes up after this.
God's Wealth Advisors asked the question, where could retirement take you?
We want to go to Alaska. Never been there. And I've been wanting to go for the last 15 years. My wife keeps on saying, no, we're not old enough yet. I think we're old enough now to go enjoy Alaska.
At Dodds Wealth Advisors, we want to hear your retirement dreams and help you turn them into reality.
I'm Paul from Urbana. Where could retirement take you?
Ohio High Point's 664th Hair Force Salon is now open and ready to pamper you from head to toe. Treat yourself to a relaxing spa day with our wide range of services. Whether it's a fresh haircut, a soothing facial, or a perfect manicure and pedicure, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. Prices start at just $5. Yes, you heard that right, $5. You can look and feel amazing without breaking the bank. Appointments are available Wednesday through Friday, starting at 8:30 a.m. Come experience the 664th Hair Force Salon at Ohio High Point.
The weekend should be for relaxing, and that means no cooking. Check out what's hot at Ron's Pizza in Bell Fountain. On top of pizzas, they have subs, sandwiches, salads, and lots of sides like breadsticks, garlic cheese bread, pickle chips, beer battered onion rings, loaded fries, and more. Check out a specialty pizza this weekend. Ron's Pizza is ready to cook for you. Call 292-7775 or stop by and dine in on South Main Bell Fountain. See more and a menu online at Ron's Pizza's Facebook page.
Welcome back into Ron's Pizza in Bell Fountain, Ohio. I'm your host, Caleb Spinner, joined now by Coach Ryan Dickson of the Indian Lake Lakers wrestling team. Coach, welcome to Chalk Talk.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I know you've been here before. I'm going to try to build on your positive experiences and make this the best one you've ever had.
Sounds great.
It's a lot of pressure on me, I promise you. Do you mind to bring your mic a little bit closer to your mouth here?
Yeah.
One of the questions I always like asking coaches, and I forgot to ask it to Coach Dennis here a minute ago, but what got you into coaching?
Just trying to help people and keep our community tough, you know. I like this sport, and I think it does a lot for people, so I like to pass that on, what I was given by a lot of great people, so trying to give that back to my community, make our school great. I'm
going to assume, like a lot of coaches, you wrestled before?
Yeah.
I should say, like, a lot of coaches do the sport that they coach now before that.
Yes.
What was your experience with wrestling before you took over as a coach?
I wrestled for Indian Lake High School, and I went to Purdue University for 2 years, and I finished at University of Findlay.
Okay.
Wrestled through college.
You got that Big Ten blood in you there a little bit.
A little bit, yep.
It's a good wrestling school, though, Purdue.
Yeah.
They've got some good guys who have come up through there.
Absolutely.
So then I have no need to ask you what brought you to Indian Lake. You always wanted to go home, right?
Correct, yes. My family's very embedded in the Indian Lake area.
What about what you've been able to bring to this program? Because obviously having been there before as a wrestler and now getting to see what you've built, what would you say what you've brought to the legacy of Lakers wrestling?
I'm just trying to carry on what my head coach from high school did and what the coach before me did, and just trying to carry it on, the tradition of winning and getting kids to the next level.
What would you say are some of the things you value as a coach from your athletes, from your staff, from the community, whatever it is?
3,000% relationships. The bond that you make with people and just the forever bond through the sport and just making people better people.
How do you go about making those bonds with people, especially new people?
Getting to know them individually, not just as one group of people. Trying to get to know people and learn what makes them tick, each person individually.
We're getting ready to go into the postseason here. You've had a full year to see your guys. What would you say is the identity of this team through the year so far?
Oh, I think they really care about one another, so that's really neat. The team's pretty close, and they've been together ever since they were probably in 7th grade. They had a really successful middle school year, and they're just really looking out for one another, and they're tough.
Wrestling is a sport that's individual, of course, in terms of there's one person per team on the mat at a time, but it's also very team oriented in that your teams are obviously scored together, but also that you need to pick each other up during losses or celebrate together during wins. How do you balance teaching that through practice and during a meet?
You just keep them accountable in practice, and they see that each other, because I believe wrestling teaches you, like, you gain through suffering, and you see each other suffer together, and you know what each other's put into it. So when something doesn't go well for each other, you're there for them as a person and as a teammate. And I believe that's what builds a great team and keeps us going and makes them tough, and they want to put out for each other.
Wrestling, of course, split up by weight divisions or weight classes. You know, there are different techniques, as we've talked about with a few of the other wrestling coaches who have been up here. You coach different classes differently than you would. Smaller people, it's a lot of being on the ground. It's a lot of the grappling versus a big guy sometimes will throw or things like that. There are different styles with weight classes, right? How do you go about coaching different ones for your guys?
I have amazing help. I have great staff. I have great people. Dylan Knotts, Phil Mackesy. I have a lot of people that come in and help. A lot of my past athletes will come in anytime they're home. So I just have a lot of help to do it, and you just get to know each one individually.
What's one of the things you wish more people understood about wrestling?
That everyone should do it.
That everyone should do it.
Everybody should do it. They should have it as a gym class. Then you would respect it, you'd understand it, and realize how hard it is and how much guts it takes to go out there, look at somebody in the eyes and be like, you're trying to take me down, I'm trying to take you down. And at the end, you have to shake hands. And you have to own the fact that you won or own the fact that you lost. It's a lot about life. And then the next time you got to get up and do it again.
It should be a required class then.
I believe that.
Then everybody gets to learn through suffering, as you put it, which is
it's a great lesson.
It is a very good motivator for life too, and of course the bonding then afterwards. So
absolutely.
Yeah, you get to stare your opponent in the eye when you win or you lost, but then you also get to go back to your team, to that bonding, whether it's family, a wife, a husband, whatever it ends up being, and use them for fuel to then go out to your next meet and hopefully win if you lost or continue winning if you won that last one, right?
I think you're ready to wrestle.
I don't know. I'd want to shed a few pounds before I wrestle there. I don't know if I could compete with some of the other guys at 220 here. I know you've gotten to see your guys for a lot of this season, and some of them being seniors. You've seen them for a while. What have they meant to you individually during your time here as a coach of Indian Lake?
Oh, each one individually have been great. They've been together, like I said, as a team since the 7th grade. They won league championships then. They've done really well together, and it's not even all about the success of it. They just pick each other up. It's just really great to see them, how they interact with each other, and I know they'll all do great things when they're done with this.
What's the most difficult thing to teach when you're particularly starting out with a new wrestler, somebody who's never been on the mat before?
Handling the suffering, understanding that it's a process. It's not T-ball. You don't go up and hit a home run the first time you do it. And if you do, like, you don't respect it. You got to suffer.
When you talk about suffering too, I know it's not just the running and the conditioning. It's the physical exhaustion that you go through having to literally fight somebody on the other side who wants to pin you just as much as you do.
Physically is not the biggest hurdle. Mentally is definitely the biggest hurdle. So getting that and having perspective and then putting your nose down when something doesn't go right, or not sticking your nose up too far if it doesn't go good.
So tell me a little bit about the guys you've brought here, because you've got quite a posse sitting over there devouring some Ron's Pizza.
Absolutely, yeah. I have multiple seniors, a heavyweight, a 65-pounder. I have a 220-pounder. I have 144, 175, and I have two of my ladies from my ladies team that are seniors as well.
Oh, you see, I wondered if this was just a Valentine's Day thing and they asked to bring their girlfriends. There we go.
Those girls have suffered and done just as tough things as everybody else.
Absolutely. I know a fair amount of female wrestlers, and I know they are
very
some
tough.
of the scariest people I've ever known because they're that mentally and physically tough, of course.
Great people, yeah.
Before they come up here, what has this group meant to you, and what they've brought to the Indian Lake program, what they've suffered together with? What do they as a unit represent about the Lakers program?
We've always had like one or two like really outstanding wrestlers on our program, and this group, these seniors have came together and they've made it a team aspect and still have that great success individually, but the team aspect, definitely.
So let's bring them up here. I'll see if I can drag somebody's attention. Everybody's on Instagram, so we'll see if we can drag them up. There we go. Now they're going to start migrating. Is there anybody you're worried about?
No.
Being on a mic?
No.
No?
I'm excited to hear it.
All right. Who's taking the stool here? I mean, we might want to do the shortest person. There we go. See, when you said 65 person, I legitimately thought like 265. No,
He's not that big. 255, 65, 220, 215, whatever it is.
You're 220? Yeah. Okay, we're in the same weight class then.
Told you.
This is my guy. This is my guy.
There you go.
This is my guy. All right. I know it's not quite wrestling, but we got to do the square up. We got to do the boxing square up before here. All I know is that you're all seniors. I don't know anybody's names, so please walk me through who everybody is. Oh, by the way, your job sitting in the chair is to like pass the mic to people. Got it?
Yep.
Do we need to bring out the contract and make sure you're legally obligated to do that?
I can do that.
Okay, she can do it. We're all good. Hold off on the legal department. We're all set. So all right. So who is everybody?
I'm Isabel Brunson.
Emery Wagner, Jackson Young,
Dylan Valerio,
Tori Roby,
Ryan Culp,
Tony Cummins.
Awesome. Has anybody ever been on Chalk Talk before?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a few returners. All right, I like this. So I was talking with Coach that you guys are getting ready to go postseason. You've had a long year together. What's been your favorite moment of the year? On the mat or off the mat? It doesn't have to be just wrestling. Anybody want to start?
I think Isabel's got the mic. Go for it.
Probably just being with our girls team, like watching that grow. That's it.
Well, you got to speak in the mic.
Messing around at practice.
Messing around at practice. What does that usually entail?
Wrestling, non-wrestling, like beating each other up as a joke. Before pre-practice, playing hacky sack.
How does hacky sack turn into beating each other up?
Hacky sack is important.
Well,
Yeah.
when we get to playing hacky sack, we have a rule where once like 3 different people hit it, you can catch it and throw it at people. And we used to have a metal one that had like metal beads in it. If you threw that thing hard enough, you could leave some pretty good welts on people.
I'll take your word for it.
Here you go, man.
Oh, it's my turn? 100% hacky sack, without a doubt.
I think some of my favorite wrestling moments are with my wrestling partner, Taylor Clem. Probably the funniest guy I know.
I would probably say hacky sack, honestly.
I would say laying down while they're playing hacky sack, and I get hit by the hacky sack when I'm not playing.
This whole hacky sack nonsense, it adds another layer to the learning through suffering.
A little bit.
I don't know what you're learning there, duck. learning to bring a plastic one, not the metal one, I guess. Well, I know you've all been with Coach for a little while here. What's been the most important thing or the most memorable thing he's ever told you? Can be sentimental, can be hilarious. I'll leave it open for you.
I think the biggest one is he just tells us to get out of our own way, and I think on the mat and off the mat, that helps you in life. I think about that a lot.
For like the first 2 years or so, he never told me that he was like proud of me. So, you know, I finally got told that he was proud of me, and I felt really good about myself.
Welcome to therapy here at Ron's Pizza. Wow. It's hard to follow that up, isn't it?
Yeah, there's too many. Probably what Tori said, like, get out of your own way. That stuck with me for a while, too.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with the get out of your own way. And he'd always tell us, just remember, it's just a game. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
I'd probably say when he tells us, like, towards the beginning and middle of the year that none of that stuff really matters, like any of those tournaments. It's all just practice until you get to the postseason, like sectionals and districts and state, that it really doesn't matter how you perform until that time.
I think I got to agree with everybody else. He just comes at it with a good mindset, and it makes it not quite as nerve-wracking when you go up and wrestle.
Just to basically be confident in yourself and just don't think and do what you think you can.
One of
Isabel.
What?
I'm proud of you for taking that back.
And you said that so close to him, too. One of the things that Coach has talked a lot about is that wrestling is learning through suffering. And we talked that that's mental, that's physical, that's a whole lot of things. What has been the toughest thing to overcome for you with wrestling? Physically, mentally, whatever it be.
Just really like realizing that like you're gonna have to lose
I'm
to
watching
get better.
you. I'm watching. Sorry, he was laughing. I'm watching him.
Just realizing that you're gonna have to lose to get better. It's not just like winning to get better, it's losing to get better.
I'd probably say some of the practices we go through, like, they're pretty tough. And like I said earlier, he just says that we got to get out of our own way, and you just got to shut your mind off and just keep wrestling through that hard practice.
I'd probably say the mental game of just remembering it's just a game. Just getting out there and getting everything you got. At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Here we go.
With wrestling, I mean, you get like pretty banged up. You get head-butted and scratched, and sometimes you get punched. I've never done that to Emery. But it's a lot of just kind of being able to keep going through all of that. Like, sometimes you'll get a bloody nose or you'll scrape the inside of your cheek out. But as long as you, like, can get past the blood and just really keep going, I mean, it's just all a mental thing.
It's a heck of a sales pitch.
I think one of the hardest things is to, like, keep showing up. Like, once you get to about Christmas and then January, it does get a little hard to keep wanting to go to practice, but then you show up and you're like, yeah, I'm glad I'm here. You get a good workout in.
I would say one of the hardest things to do is getting through your first ever cut, because you've never done it before and it just sucks trying to lose that weight. But yeah, just the practices in general, they're pretty tough mentally and physically.
You're the mic commander here.
I'd say the hardest thing for me personally, it being my second year, I feel like it was really hard to take in all the information at once and try to apply it. And it's been a pretty rough road to try to just be confident in what I know, because I don't know that much. But I've learned a lot.
I think you brought up practice there. You're getting a little bit ahead of me here with this next question. While your coach is listening, and knowing your coach is listening, what is that one thing at practice that you hate to do?
Give us a second.
They're taking a minute going, what do we want to admit?
Spin drills when the soles of your feet start to burn, and then you just switch, Switch.
What is
Switch.
it? What is a spin drill for the uninitiated?
So you're with a partner. One person's on all fours, and the other person, your chest is like on their back, and you spin just to practice like good hip position when you're wrestling. But you go back and forth, and you like hit a breakdown when coach says.
I would say one of the worst things is when you are trying your hardest at practice, and then all of a sudden there's that one person who's not trying their hardest, and coach catches them. It's pretty tough on all of us. But yeah.
You can't see it, but he's smiling through that.
I'm proud of you.
Probably what I hate the most would be sometimes we get like old alumni that come in, and like one guy, Kevin Chrisman. You just hate to see when he walks in the door. you know it's gonna be a rough time. Or Cole Mefford's been there the last couple of days, and like we'll be doing some live goes, and you'll go against 3 of your teammates, and then the next thing you know, you get 4 coaches right in a row, and you just can't keep going after that.
I'd have to agree with that one. You see him walk in, you're like, oh, it's going to be a hard day. But they do help you out a little bit. They do show you some. But you don't want to walk after that one. You're like just laying on the ground.
I'm going to have to go off of them, but also like when you're having a bad day and then coach comes over and just starts beating up on you even more, making you go harder, pushing your face into the mat, just making it suck worse.
I think we missed the 2 in front. I think that's what we have left, right?
I'd say my least favorite part is when we do a rotational drill and you have no idea who your next partner is going to be, and it's just a scramble, and coach is yelling, get your partner, and you have no idea, and then I get matched up with like Dylan.
I'm going to have to also say spin drills. Those are terrible. Just terrible.
Gave us a plan for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Is what do you want to admit? Now you get the alumni through the door. Now he writes on the whiteboard. We're going to do spin. Then we're going to do alumni live. Then we're going to do. Oh, there's your blueprint for tomorrow. I just helped you plan practice.
It's that suffering aspect. That's why they're all tough.
It is. That's absolutely it.
Yeah.
One of the suffering things I know a few of you mentioned, I think you specifically back there talked about cutting. If you know you've got to shed, like, we'll say something manageable, like 1-2 pounds right before a meet, what's your go-to cutting routine? Because I've seen people do, like, sprints in, 3 sweatshirts. Like, I've seen a lot of crazy things. What do you guys do? You've never had to cut that drastically before?
Not right before a meet.
Okay, so then what about leading up to it?
I cut a long time ago. I haven't recently, but when I used to.
You're getting tripped from the back row here.
I would just like go to practice, go home, run, and then wake up and run more with like 2 or 3 sweatshirts on. And then I did it the dumb way, and I didn't really eat that much, which isn't very smart, but that's how I did it.
I've done it where just get some extra running in, maybe go to the gym, wear some sweatpants and a hoodie so you sweat a little bit more when you're working out. Maybe call a buddy and ask if he wants to wrestle with you for a little bit just to get that extra sweat down.
Every time he gets the mic, I know this is going to be a great answer.
This is an impossible question for him.
I've
never done that.
Yeah, I've wrestled heavyweight since middle school. I've been pretty much for the last 4 years like 50 to 30 pounds underweight before every tournament. All right, except for like the start of the year.
Right here.
Oh, it was like 20. But like sometimes if I'm feeling bad for my guy Jack right here, I'll throw on a sweatshirt and some sweatpants before practice, get some suffering in with him.
I've never had to cut much weight either, but I usually just make sure my weight is right the night before, and I'll just sleep it off,
Oh, so it's just it's as easy as closing your eyes. Can't relate.
What I usually do to cut weight is put on at least 2 to 3 layers and then get on the treadmill and run about 2 to 3 miles. Try and run them as fast as I can to get that sweat going.
I've never really had to cut that much weight, but I like to just take a hot bath usually, and typically I can just sleep it off, but it's always nice to have a lighter lunch and then a hard practice, and then it pretty much does the work for you.
I'm also on the same page. I like to take a hot bath, and usually for practice I'll just throw on like a long sleeve t-shirt and a t-shirt over top, and I'm good.
Why am I kind of glad that that remark missed the mic and I didn't hear it? I'm kind of grateful for that. One of the last things here, you guys are going into the postseason. Been a long year. What's a personal goal you have that you weren't able to get in the in the regular season that you want to hit in the postseason? Or maybe something you did in the regular season that you're like, I want to hit it again this time. Oh boy, you're being nominated to lead off here.
I have to be really honest.
Oh boy. The best answers start off with, if I'm being honest.
I personally am not varsity, sadly, but I did go, like, with my wrestle off against my teammate, I always went hard. We had quite a few, but he always ended up beating me. But with me, I'm just trying to finish out the season, going hard at practice, making sure my teammates are getting good work in against me, just so they can have a good postseason.
I'm looking to score some more points, make sure that all my technique is nice and sharpened, so I can do my best throughout the postseason.
I'm just really looking to finish out the season strong. Last year I got pretty close to making it to the state tournament. I just fell a match short, so I'm hoping to get to the end there and make it to state this year. So I'm just going to keep trying to wrestle as best I can and push the pace in every match. But I'm a heavyweight, so that doesn't really happen.
I'm just playing, do my best, last shot at it senior year, see where I end up.
I just want to finish the season off as hard as I can.
I was one match away from state last year, so I'd like to get my revenge at that, and just sounds simple, but just not getting on your back.
I made it to state sophomore year, but I never placed, so I'm really hoping this year that I'll make it again and then actually place this year.
All right, well, I know one of you is going to value this a lot more than the others. You are now free to go back and eat your pizza. There it is. That's the reaction I was looking for from the heavyweight right there. Coach, before we let you go here, number one, it was great getting to hear from your very honest wrestlers about some of the things that they like and don't like about practice here. But we mentioned you're going into the postseason. What's the message for your team, for the community, for fans going into that year?
We're going to compete really hard each match, take everything one step at a time, not look past anything, and see what happens. Roll the dice, just a game, and we're going to play that game real hard.
And Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Appreciate you. Nice
We're going to ask that you keep the headset on for a minute because there are days where I like to irritate Gary, and I figured I'd be nice today, so I won't have you crackle the headset when you take
problem.
it off.
Sure.
That's right, Gary. I've been telling them to do that. No, I'm kidding. When we come back, I'll wrap up Chalk Talk. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back to wrap it all up after this.
The weekend should be for relaxing, and that means no cooking. Check out what's hot at Ron's Pizza in Bell Fountain. On top of pizzas, they have subs, sandwiches, salads, and lots of sides like breadsticks, garlic cheese bread, pickle chips, beer battered onion rings, loaded fries, and more. Check out a specialty pizza this weekend. Ron's Pizza is ready to cook for you. Call 292-7775 or stop by and dine in on South Main Bell Fountain. See more and a menu online at Ron's Pizza's Facebook page.
Dodd's Wealth Advisors asked the question, where could retirement take you?
We want to go to Alaska. Never been there. And I've been wanting to go for the last 15 years. My wife keeps on saying, no, we're not old enough yet. I think we're old enough now to go enjoy Alaska.
At Dodd's Wealth Advisors, we want to hear your retirement dreams and help you turn them into reality.
I'm Paul from Urbana.
Where could retirement take you?
Welcome back one final time this week to Chalk Talk at Ron's Pizza in Bell Fountain, Ohio. We've had a great discussion starting off with Dennis McIntosh and the West Liberty-Salem girls basketball team, and then talking just moments ago with Ryan Dickson and the Indian Lake Lakers wrestling team. We'll have another episode of Chalk Talk coming at you again, this time next week, Wednesday, beginning at 7 o'clock right here on Peak of Ohio and PeakofOhioTV.com. From Ron's Pizza in Bellefonte, Ohio. Feel free to please tune in or show up live. I always love getting to talk to you guys before the show when we get to come in and talk to you. I'd much rather talk to you than the audio engineer, Gary. But until next week, as he gives me hands up as a what the heck kind of motion, as we get ready for next week, a big thank you to our executive producer, Lou Vito, our producer, Chad Wilkinson, and our audio engineer, Gary Kauffman. Gotta thank him, even though I really don't like to. I'm your host, Caleb Spinner. That'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next week. But until then, that's the show. We're out of here.